Hi, this is Brendan from Bespoke LA, and today we're going to be talking about OneDrive for Windows 10. Your organization uses Microsoft 365, and as part of that, you've got a great resource called OneDrive. OneDrive's a place that you can store all your files that you do not necessarily want on the company server or on shared storage. It's a place like your Documents desktop or Pictures folder where you can store things that you are working on yourself. And by default, only you and your IT department can see those files. The great thing about OneDrive is that these files are now protected, available from anywhere, and synced across all of your devices. You can also use OneDrive to share files, even large ones, with anyone you want. You can even give them access to collaborate on files with the ability to edit. In this video, you're going to learn the basics of using OneDrive, as well as how to share files. I'm starting from a clean computer here, and I'm going to show you how to use OneDrive on Windows 10. The OneDrive Windows 10 program is controlled by this application down here that runs in the system tray, which is the area on the bottom right. You can see right here, we're not signed into OneDrive yet. You're likely already are signed into OneDrive because you were prompted when the application started. But if OneDrive is not running or you don't see the icon there or here in the hidden part of the system tray, you can go right here to your start menu and start typing in OneDrive until you see the OneDrive app. Click it. That'll prompt OneDrive to open. And if you're not already signed in, it'll ask you to sign in. When you sign in with your OneDrive account, it may ask you for a password and two-factor authentication, depending upon the settings of your organization and computer. But sometimes you may just be logged in already because you were already logged in on the computer. Like we're going to go ahead and connect to OneDrive and open our OneDrive folder. When you see that, you're going to see that there's a new location on your computer called OneDrive. And you may also see the content that was already in your OneDrive if you have already put files and folders there, which is great. That's part of the wonder of OneDrive, where it's going to keep all of your files in sync across all of your devices. And if you need to sign into a new device, once OneDrive is signed in, all the files that you put there will automatically be available. I'm also going to show you another way to interact with OneDrive on a Windows 10 PC, which is through the browser. If you go ahead and go to Microsoft Office.com website and click the OneDrive icon here, I'm signed in with the same account, you'll see that these same files and folders that are on OneDrive on the desktop are also present in OneDrive on the browser. This is because OneDrive is keeping this in sync, and the master sync location is the Microsoft 365 cloud on office.com. So I can go ahead and use these files on a web browser. I can go ahead and use these files from the File Explorer. And as you can see, there's also some other locations here called Desktop, Documents, and Pictures. You're familiar with those locations because they are familiar locations on a Windows PC. I've chosen to have OneDrive back up and sync my desktop documents and pictures across all my devices. So any Windows 10 device that I have OneDrive connected to will automatically sync that. And you can set that up too by going over here to the OneDrive system tray icon, clicking Help and Settings, clicking Settings, and clicking on this account, this tab here called Backup. You'll click Manage Backup, and you'll go ahead and select any folders that you want to keep synced with OneDrive and press OK. And at the end of that, you'll be all set and things will be backing up to OneDrive. I want to point out a few new things that you may have noticed and you may not have when working with syncing files on Windows 10 is that there's a status icon now in the File Explorer, and these have some important effects on your computer. The status icons I'm going to have you take a look at are this blue cloud, this green check mark, and then a few other statuses we'll talk about a little bit later. The blue cloud is indicating that this file is only in the Microsoft 365 cloud, and there's not currently a copy of this file on the local computer. The green checkbox is telling you that there is a copy on the local computer, and it's currently in sync with the cloud, so you'll be able to access it in any location that has Microsoft 365. When I open a file or when I right-click a file and say, always keep on this device, this is going to download a copy of the file. And then once the file is present, you'll see a green checkbox on the computer. The same thing will happen if you double-click a file that is not on the computer and is only in the cloud. It's going to download that file first, and then it's going to open. In the program on the computer that's associated with that file. Now you can see that all these files that used to be a blue cloud that I opened are now green checkboxes. If you're opening and downloading a large file that takes a little bit of time to get to the computer from the cloud, you will see a status icon that looks like two blue arrows in a circle. That's indicating that the file is currently downloaded. Now, what happens if you have a larger file that you downloaded to the computer, but you don't want to keep on the computer because it's large and you just want to have it in the cloud? Well, you don't need to delete that. What you can do is right click and say free up space. Any file or directory that you do that to will have the opposite sync happen, and then it will only be in the cloud, so it won't take up space on your device. The next thing I want to show you is how to share a file inside of OneDrive. So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to find a file that you want to share with a colleague. You're going to right click this file and press the share button. And it's going to give you the options for your organization. By default, it's going to say people you specify can edit, which means you're going to need to enter an email address for the person that you're sharing the file with. That person will either need to have a Microsoft 365 account, or they'll be prompted to create a new free Microsoft account so that they can interact and view with that file. That's going to control whether only the people that you're specifying do actually have access to these files. You can change these options though by clicking on this, and you can change things like anyone with the link, which won't require them to have an account. And you can allow editing on the file, which will allow the person that you send the file to interact with this file on their computer, either in this case, Microsoft Word, or in Word on the web. They'll be able to make changes to the file, and those file changes will be reflected on your computer in OneDrive in real time. And you can even open and view that file at the same time as that person and watch them make changes, which is a new thing that is only available in OneDrive or SharePoint. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. That's going to give me anyone with the link can edit, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that link. It'll create a shareable link that you can copy to the clipboard. You can paste that in an email, a chat, wherever you need it. And the person at the other end of it is going to be able to open it up. I'm going to show their experience to you right now by going over here to Edge, opening up a new in private window, actually it's called an Edge. And then we're going to go ahead and paste that link there. And you'll see what the person on the other end will see, because this private window is not logged into Office.com. So they're going to see something that looks very much just like Microsoft Word. They're going to be able to make a change to this Word document. You'll see that it's automatically saved onto OneDrive. And when they close that, and then you go ahead and open this up on your computer in Microsoft Word, you're going to see that person's change that they made in pretty much real time as it's synced up to the cloud and then back down to your computer. That's going to conclude the basic training of the functionality of Microsoft OneDrive. You'll probably receive additional instructions from us or your IT department on how they want you to use it and what they want you to include there. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video today.